Hello everyone, it's me, your host, Rocky. Welcome to episode 4 of the When Memes Become Dreams and Overwatch podcast. Today I'm being joined by my co-host. Hello, co-host.
How's it going, kids?
And our first guest, Nsubes.
What's up?
And our second guest, Franz. How's it going?
What's up, my doggies?
Nice. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Overwatch League, because that's happening. It started yesterday. Any thoughts on Overwatch League specifically?
I think it had a great turnout for the first day. I
Yeah,
think it was over 400,000 views concurrent at one point.
Did he
Which
get
is
that?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
over the French and
Yeah, it's been...
Between just French and English, it capped 400,000, and then there's
Nice.
other language streams
There's
to
like
take into
Panda TV,
consideration
right?
as well.
Doesn't Panda TV have like 200k usually? I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the
Oh my
Chinese. Yeah, is
Yeah.
that the Chinese streaming
I
site?
think, yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, right now, they're still consistently above 200k on the English stream, and it's second day, so that's good. That means there's hope for
Very
Overwatch
good.
League.
There's hope.
Nice.
I think Blizzard can call this a success so far. If in
Yeah,
2 weeks
definitely.
they still have this viewership, I mean, they're doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say if in 2 weeks they get 100,000, that'd still be pretty good.
Yeah.
an even
pretty
greater achievement to that is getting it on the front page of the Overwatch subreddit. Because it's been all over the front page today of the Overwatch subreddit, people
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about it.
That's good. That's also
Like
another
our
good thing.
competitive Overwatch, that's a given, but like our Overwatch, like that's an achievement.
Yeah, definitely.
they managed to beat out the shit posts, kids.
They did it. PogChamp. Let's look at it right now, actually. I think it's like actually insane how many posts. Okay, so like half the ones on the front page are Overwatch League. Then you have like McCree 6k to win the game that finally got me to Diamond. Things like that. You know, that's an unlucky.
Unluckers.
Make a Junkrat San Francisco Shock skin. Use the alt line from Junkenstein skin. Nice. I like that one. So what are the like initial thoughts on the games yesterday and today so far? Maybe like Florida's bad, but not that bad. And
I think yeah,
Yeah.
Florida today was kind of like an upset
Yeah.
and a half, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I think
just-
a big reason behind that was the fact that Spitfire mixed their roster a lot. They had Gesture with Fury, which they've never played together before, besides in like scrims.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
should have ran Fissure
So
110%.
yeah, and if they
And I
were gonna
think-
run Gesture, they should have gotten off tank from GC Busan.
Yeah, I think Logix really came out of his shell too from like
Yeah,
the
that too.
preseason and contenders. He really actually showed up for once.
Yeah, he did pretty good. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
a pretty like fair combination of Florida actually playing well and like London just making poor roster choices. But as we've learned from like another famous XQC leak, all of these things are decided ahead of time. So
Yes.
it's not like if
Yep.
one map starts to go poorly, you can just be like, "Oh, well, we're going to change this. We're going to change what we had planned." If you make a bad plan weeks ahead of time, it's going to be a bad plan.
Yeah.
True.
Definitely. Yeah. I think Koreans adapt a lot, and that's why they win a lot of these games. I think that's why they won this, just because they adapted to why they were losing, and they did it. So our plans today were to talk about each individual team. Do we want to like start that now, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right? Which team should we start off with? That's a good question. Should we do like alphabetically?
Yeah, let's just go alphabetical.
All right. Boston Uprising. I'll go over the roster. You have Dream Casper, formerly on Tempo Storm. Doesn't have a lot of competitive experience. Definitely like consistently a good player. Snow, who was on Toronto Esports. Gamsu from a Korean team that I forgot. It was either Meta Athena or like a different one.
One of them.
Yeah, and then you have Note from Toronto Esports. Neko from a Korean team that I forgot. Avast from LG Evil. And Striker from a Korean team that I forgot. Kalios from a Korean team. Mistakes from one of the EU teams. I think it was
Like he
1, 2,
was,
3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then Kelix, who was on Singularity for a bit, some other teams at different times. So it's just really like this mixed roster that has like some really solid Korean players and then like Snow and Dream Casper. So what do you guys think about Boston?
I think they started out really underrated. I mean, they're by no means going to be a great team, but I don't think they're as bad as people really made them out to be.
I think we can really tell in the next match against New York because they do well there.
Yeah.
Then they have a chance to do well against a lot of teams.
Yeah.
100%. I was talking to Franz about it earlier. I mean, like, if they can take 2 maps or even just 1 map, like, that's going to solidify them as, like, actually being a legitimate team. If they just go 0-4 here, I mean, they're still going to be the underdogs in everyone's eyes kind of thing.
Yeah, I think people kind of expect that they're going to go 0-4 against New York. But
I still do.
I think they
Yeah,
could win a
right.
map or two, honestly. I think they could do that.
I could see them taking a map maybe, but at the same
Yeah.
time, New York also has a pretty decent roster.
Yeah. They could make it a competitive 4-0 at the very least.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too. I don't know. I just kind of want to see them actually play outside of the preseason because it looks like glorified
Yeah.
scrims, according to most people. So,
Yeah.
all right, and then we have Dallas Fuel, which is Chips, Harry, Mickey, XQC, Taimu, and Coco from the original roster, and then they added in Effect right before Overwatch League, and then Custa, Siegel, and XQC. So, you know, that's a pretty popular team. They did pretty well against Seoul, which means a lot for them.
Yeah, they came
Yeah.
out with a pretty interesting strategy for Junkertown against Seoul, not running XQC or Coco, so just
Yeah.
Mickey on tank.
I think that
Mickey
worked
and
really
Taimu
well.
on tank. Yeah.
Yeah. They pulled that off. I think they ran like Roadhog Diva for a good amount of that, which
They
Yeah.
did run Roadhog Diva, which
yeah.
not running a main tank is something that you don't see really ever at the professional
Outside of
level.
solo queue.
I think it really highlights one thing, mostly about Junkertown itself, and that is
Yeah.
that, like, because Junkertown is just such a ridiculously, like, off-meta map, you can really run just about any strategy as long as it's solid, and, like, if a good enough team can pull it off. Like, we've seen Dallas Fuel already do 2 really wacky things on Junkertown. The first time it didn't work out so good, but this strategy worked really well. I mean, it's one of those maps. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and it also, Dallas Fuel is known and envious prior to being Dallas. We're known for being kind of a creative team, if you will. They like to do some weird things, some weird comps that normally wouldn't expect, and they could pull it off because they just had the talent.
And
Yeah.
I think we're still going to see that a lot from them, honestly. I mean, like, it's only wackier now that they have Siegel and XQC. They can basically pull off just about anything.
I think a lot of that was Kai too.
Yeah.
Kai is,
And also their like quad
Okay.
tank on attack on Anubis was really interesting too. It's really slow, but they actually pulled it off against Seoul like multiple times, which is interesting. That they have
probably
that.
Honestly-
able to resist the spam a lot more.
Yeah.
I basically almost fell out of my chair when I saw that.
Yeah. It's
It
understandable.
was so fucked up. It's just like, you see that come out and you're like, what are they thinking? And then they get, what, 614 on the first
Yeah,
attack?
That's
It was like
insane.
618 or something, 613.
Yeah.
One of those.
Something ridiculous that
It was
you
nutty.
don't
Yeah. And then like Seoul got it really fast too, though. So then it was just like a really
see. They got
close
it.
matchup.
Neither
I think
team
like
knew how to play defense.
four something left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was
Oh, yeah.
like 450 or something, close to 5
Yeah.
minutes.
It was like, yeah, 614 or 615 to like 445 or
Yeah, I was
something.
gonna say it's like the moment when one team has 4 minutes on the clock and you're like, yeah, I mean that's pretty good. Not as good as the other team though. Like,
Still, though, I mean, it goes to show how consistent Seoul is of a team for them to be able to actually still win the map.
Also,
And
how
they-
much of a god Fleta is, because
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
yeah.
Apart from Fleta's hard carrying, I think they adapted very well to what they were. Because Dallas just threw the same comp at them like 2-3 times in a row starting out. So I think they adapted well to it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
Yeah,
true.
they
um,
definitely did.
I think Dallas definitely should have changed it up for the third time and run something else because especially after they did it and it didn't work after the first push. I think they should have changed earlier on than they did.
Probably, yeah. Alright, so I just want to remind everyone in the chat that you can do !podcast, join the server, go into the lobby channel and ask us questions towards the end of the show. So, you know, that's the thing you can do. And then, I'm going to move on to the next team, which is Florida Mayhem. And it's literally just the roster that Misfits had in the last couple months, which is Tvik, Zupe, Swoosh, Zebusai, Manitin, and Logix. So, it's only a 6-man roster, which obviously has its weaknesses. If one of your players is sick and can't play, then you can't play games. And they might, like, sub in, like, Mineral or something, because Mineral's, like, an actual pro player. And, yeah, if that's allowed. But I guess on the bright side, they can pick up players that are doing really well in mid-season, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So that's some pros and
cons. There's a gray area there for most teams. They generally have extra players, right? So if there's a sub requirement, I mean, it seems like every single team is like, oh, we already have players in the background, but yeah, I don't know what Florida's going to do, and I don't know what rules they're going to have to like follow to make sure that they can sub people in.
I think it's also a big thing.
Weakness, really.
The teams are playing so much Overwatch. Like, if there's a team that burns out, it'll be Florida, since they can't. Like, they can't have players take break.
Yeah, they, the good thing is in February they'll be able to, like, change that, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
They could sign a lot of people. There's a lot of owl-worthy people out there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Anyway, we can do, Houston now, which is Muma, Bonnie, Clockwork, Mendo, Linkser, Boink, Spree, Raucus, Coolmat, and Jake. And what they did is they picked up F Energy FE, they took out Buds, they replaced him with Mendo, and then they also picked up Spree, Linkser, Raucus, and Jake, because, you know, they're all really good players. And that's a 10-man roster, which means they can still pick up 2 more players in mid-season, which is good. And they're also, like, really flexible now, which is pretty good.
Yeah, they could. I think one person they could, or not maybe a person in general, but another off tank, or another main tank rather, like somebody who's a Reinhardt specialist. Because I see Muma as a Winston specialist almost.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he has a good Reinhardt, but if they could pick up a Reinhardt main almost.
I can't really think of anyone who would fit that perfectly. Like Fraggy, I would say Fraggy would be really good for them, but like Fraggy is on Philly, so
yeah.
I don't know. Is there? No, I'm not really forgetting anyone. I don't think so. So they performed pretty well against Dallas in the preseason, but then you have to consider how well Dallas was performing, and it's like
and how much they didn't care during the preseason.
Yeah, that too. I think their best player is Linkser. What do you guys think on that?
By far,
I would agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't deny like the strength of like their tank synergy, and I mean, Raucus is an insane support player. So I mean,
yeah, they upgraded their supports a lot because their base supports from F Energy FE weren't that insane. And Spree, I don't know how often.
And Bonnie are pretty good, but
yeah,
you add Raucus to that, you have so much more flex.
Yeah, you can play the entire roster.
Raucus can play. He showed Roadhog. He showed Widow. He's an insane flex for a support player.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not sure why they picked up Spree. I think the other 3 were really good, but like Spree, I think he played in the preseason just because they had to play him.
Yeah, he's a Zarya main, and I don't think he'll ever come in unless King's Row is ever a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they solidified their roster in preparation for Mercy being nerfed into the ground, because like if Mercy gets nerfed as hard as, you know, she's going to be nerfed on the PTR, and suddenly the meta changes quite a bit, they can run a pretty solid triple tank with Spree.
Oh yeah, that's true. If that's meta,
I think his DPS is solid as well, so
yeah,
I mean,
he can
like
play Pharah and Soldier really well.
So that'll give them an edge like later on if the meta changes drastically in the middle of this season.
Yeah, they have so many DPS that play a wide variety of roles that even that helps their flexibility in their if the meta changes.
Well, with Moira being in the game and her being so good with like multiple tanks, I mean, I can't see triple tank not being a thing if Mercy just is unplayable in the pro scene. But even like even with the changes that are coming in, it's still hard to say if she's going to be phased out completely, because Valk, even without the res, is still a pretty powerful ultimate. So, I mean,
I think
it's
the
a TBD type thing.
I think the main reason Valk was so good is because of the reses. I don't know, I think they might just stop playing Mercy completely. I think it's a possibility. I'm hoping for that.
Yeah.
I think the only time you'll see Mercy really after the nerf will be with Afara.
Oh yeah, that's like basically how it was before.
But yeah.
Yeah. Those are some
But
pretty good
even
times.
even at that though, it's not to say that it's just, it depends on the value. I mean, Valk is still a good ultimate without the reses. The res mechanic itself is still broken. Just because they're nerfing res doesn't necessarily mean that it's out of the game. So I don't know. It's one of those things. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't think she's going to be as playable.
Yeah. I'm hoping for that, to be honest.
I think-
mean, yeah.
I think if going back to the Outlaws, I think if you see Junkrat really fall off, and maybe other heroes that Jake is good at, you might see Mendo play a lot more.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
Mendo
know.
will actually have some use, because he can play a lot of the heroes better than, like McCree. He can play a better McCree than Jake.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's not
And
really fair
probably
to
a better
judge Mendo
Tracer
yet.
than Jake.
I think we need to see Mendo play because, like, before Overwatch
He's-
League, it's been a while, and he only got to play one preseason match, which, you know, he just came back from, like, just getting there and stuff, so I think,
Like Mexico or some shit.
yeah. So I don't think it's fair to judge him just yet. I mean, he
Yeah,
didn't have,
I
like,
think-
the lowest points in the Fantasy League, so,
I think Mendo's in an interesting spot on Houston roster because, I mean, like it was brought up, right now Junkrat is really big in the meta, but Mendo plays pretty much everything. But at the same time, they just have other DPS that specialize in those heroes, so there's no reason to play him at the moment.
It's another one of those, we're gonna have to see where the meta goes after all the changes that are gonna come into place. Like Junkrat's mine being nerfed might make him less viable in competitive play.
I think it will. But-
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because like I've even seen, like I didn't know how dramatic it was until I watched a video today of someone actually using the mine on the PTR, and like they place it within the first like meter line of the training bots that fire on like your allied training bots, and they detonate it, and it barely does like a third of their health. So it's
Yeah.
like basically a meter away, and like the damage is next to nothing. You pretty much need to have that mine either underneath somebody or on their face. So situationally, it's going to be significantly worse. Like what we saw today, like with Jake's mine, where he like literally got, you know, Carpe and Shadowburn in one shot. That won't happen.
Which is, I guess, a good thing, but I don't know. I hope he's not, like,
Yeah.
completely out of meta because I like some Junkrat sometimes, you know?
I mean, there's definitely the maps where like his mines don't even factor in that much, though. You know, like the really choke pointy control center
I was
maps.
gonna say I think he'll become more of a niche as opposed to him just being pretty good in a lot of places right now.
Yeah, that sounds likely.
Yes, situationally, a hero like that being like good is a good thing because at least you'll see them on the pro scene, but you won't see them like everywhere that you see them right now.
They won't be OP and solo queue.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alright, I think we can move on to New York now, which is basically LW Blue, which means Sabiolbe, Meko, Janus, Pine, Jijanak, Mono, and Arc. And also they picked up Libero from Meta Athena, I think. Could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it seems like a really good roster, especially since they're going to have Flower, obviously, when Season 2 comes around, which will help them a lot. But I think it's already a really good roster because, you know, Sabiolbe is like was on the World Cup roster, which means he's obviously like valued. Pine is like really good, and the supports are good. Libero's a really good pickup because they have a lot more hit scan, like Soldier and McCree, and maybe not McCree, but and then they have like the 3 tanks that are all good, and they can swap them out if have a lot of flexibility. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you guys think?
It's one of those teams that right now is like very, very good, and then when Flower comes in, like it's only gonna get better. Like just seeing the Sabiolbe Flower like DPS duo again, like that's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really ask for a better like DPS duo.
Rascal and Birdring question mark.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, like
Yeah.
chill.
I think like right now they're like spooky, and then next year when they get flower, they're gonna be scary. So like this year I think they'll be good, but they're not gonna beat out like the Soul or Kongdu Panthera London.
No, I mean, like right now, even like some of the weaker players on the roster are better than like most of the players on like Florida, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, like no matter how you look at it, this is a very strong team.
Yeah.
Like Libero could start for a lot of teams.
Hmm.
Like Pine can play basically
Sure.
any hero.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
put him on any hero, and he's so good.
Yeah.
So I can see him being like really key in the future, no matter where the meta goes. And I mean, like you said, like their supports are nutty. Like Jonak is probably one of the best support players in Overwatch League right now.
And he hasn't even played an Overwatch League game yet.
Exactly. But like when
Yeah,
he does,
exactly.
it will be beautiful.
There's like about 2 I could name that are similar level to him. That's about it.
Hmm.
And then we have Valiant, which has Silk Thread. Wait, no, they have the original Immortals roster, which is Fate, Envy, Verbo, Grim Reality, Karev,
Your alphabet is
and
really
abilities.
strange.
And then yeah, I mixed it up. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And then they picked up Numlocked, Unco, Soon, and Space, and Silk Thread, which just makes them a lot better. Except Numlocked.
Space is not 18 yet.
Yeah, that's true. And
I think picking up Unco and Soon was really good for them.
yeah, they're just automatically better with them. And I think Silk Thread is good too, because I think all of the DPS players they picked up are better than Grim Reality and Agilities, because Grim Reality and Agilities are just meh. I mean, Agilities is good, but like Grim Reality is
Agility's
just
got
bad.
one of the best Genjis in North America, not in the world, but I think in North
Yeah.
America he's been one of the best
That's true.
consistently.
And I'm not sure why they picked up
But-
Numlocked. Like, when do you ever run
It would be-
Numlocked over Fate? Ever? Like,
That's
That
just
should be like a Rhine main, I guess.
Fate's
or
Ryan is
just
better
backup.
though.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
maybe as a backup.
Yeah,
if
I guess that's
Fate
it.
is sticked or somebody's injured or something, you have Numlock to fall back on.
That's about it. I don't see any other way.
Some
to-
really angry like
Yeah,
San Francisco fan hits him with his car, and like
Yeah,
basically.
Numlock has to play the next 6 games. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I remember when
Plus
people were
they
talking
have
about the
Envy.
leaks. Yeah, people were talking about the
I
leaks.
think-
Everyone was like, "All these make sense," and then Numlocked. But why? Why Numlocked though? And I don't. Nobody's ever figured that out. Other than
I think Valiant be pretty good this year. I think they
Yeah.
have Envy has taken so many leaps in his game since Contenders. Contenders, he was really bad. He was very bad. But he's halfway carrying the team sometimes.
yeah,
Some of the fights, he's gotten incredible.
yeah,
I mean,
Definitely.
they've literally beat San Francisco twice when people were like, "No, there's no way they're gonna lose." You know what I mean? Like San
Yeah.
Francisco's got this.
San
But
Francisco did better last time, which I don't know if that just says that they were in a different play style, or if it's just that was preseason and preseason doesn't mean anything. I think it's leaning towards that, to be honest. But
I think in most sports, preseason doesn't really matter.
yeah,
I think it just says a lot about the consistency of like San Francisco's roster. Where like you look at Valiant and it's like, if we run our best players, we're gonna do better. Because preseason they had that requirement of everybody has to play.
yeah, that's true.
That changes the game a little bit.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
And I'm still like, they have Grim Reality, and I'm not sure when they'd ever use him.
Exactly.
Like
There's
ever.
yeah.
Unless
no reason.
maybe he just specializes on some other hero. Like
He-
McCree
Yeah.
or
I feel like-
something. He just
I don't know. I guess Soon is like better on McCree, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, maybe
I don't
I think
know.
I've ever
Soon
seen Soon's
McCree.
McCree. I've only
Yeah.
seen him on Tracer, and then a little bit of Widow and Doomfist, I think, at one point.
Doom-
They probably
nice.
took Grim Realities and like locked him in a room and are forcing him to learn off meta heroes. They're like,
Dude,
I
he's
wouldn't
he's
be
their Torb
surprised.
player, and the Reaper
Yeah.
player, obviously.
he's got like Torb, Reaper, Hanzo, and like
Yeah.
Sombra or something. Like just if he
No,
insta
'cause,
locks any
doesn't
other heroes, they
Unco
like
play
shock.
Sombra?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uncle's a really good
probably.
Sombra. and
What
probably
support can
Kara.
Unko not play? You know. Really
Lucio. Lucio.
Okay.
Probably Lucio. Probably
Well, he
Lucio.
never had to though. He had
Yeah.
Nox before, and then
Yeah, Nox
Wind.
and then Wins.
Payload
Wins
guy.
is a god. Wins actually is
yeah,
a god.
rather, sorry, Wind. That's what I meant.
Is he in Overwatch League yet? No.
No. I think he deserves to be in Overwatch League, just not as a Lucio player. I think he could be like a good off-tank player. Probably better than Note, honestly. But
Oh god, yeah.
oh, that's a monk ass. Okay, anyway.
I could name like 5 off tanks that
Yeah.
I've played with personally that are better than Note.
Macintosh.
Exactly.
That is, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on to Gladiators, which is basically they took the 2 tanks from Kagarna, Remix and Bishu. Then they took the 2 supports from Giganti, which is Shaz and Big Goose. And then they took 3 random DPS players that looked cool. You know, they took Asher, so they have their Korean to carry them on Tracer. Then you have Sure
Token
4.
Korean player.
Yeah, you have Sure 4, who's, you know, he's good, and you know he's a likable personality, so you know, pick him up. And then you have
Marketing.
Hydration. Hydration, you know, he's good, and that's all I'm gonna say about him. So you know, it's actually a really interesting roster, right? It's like,
Yeah.
they just put things together.
Hydration plays your niche picks.
Yeah.
That and like
Your Doomfist.
Genji is a niche pick, right? Yeah.
I don't know, like Hydration
Yeah.
can play like just about anything. That's one thing that a lot of people kind of overlook. A lot of people think like, oh no, he's like kind of a Doomfist one trick, and you're like, that's not a good
Nah.
thing to have in Overwatch
He's
League.
a hydration.
No.
He's a Doomfist player, and the 3 projectile characters basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can play anything
Can we
else.
just pause for a
He's-
second? Can I just like comment on the fact that Raucus is playing Moira, and it's on Control Center, and this is making me very happy.
Nice. Well, that's pretty good. They're still losing though, so I just wanted to point that out as well.
You know,
Maybe
Nerf
it's
Mercy
he's playing Moira.
Shh.
Probably.
Alright.
Probably, yeah.
No mercy,
Actually,
no
it's
win.
It's probably because Fraggy's playing Ryan.
Fraggy's a god. What a god.
Shadowburn on Zarya.
What a bunch of gods, though.
Yeah.
But back to the Gladiators.
Yeah.
I think Sureforce's underrated. Like, what an actual god.
Dude,
Yeah,
Sure 4
He
is
can
really
he
good.
can
Yeah.
go to any hero you need him to play.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
honestly though, like,
like,
he played
play-
Pharah and Genji. He played Pharah and Genji really well, and he also plays like McCree, Soldier, and like Bastion really well. So it's pretty nutty,
He
dude.
plays Widow like good enough. His Widow's
Oh,
not
yeah.
the best,
That too.
but I think he can play it competitively with some of the other players.
But you have
Yeah.
Asher for that too. I
That's-
mean, like
Yeah.
that's true.
Asher plays a pretty nutty Widow, and like
mean, he's
that kind
Korean,
of frees
so-
up Surefour to play like some of his stronger heroes.
I'd also like to point out Spree is actually in the game.
Oh. Alright.
I didn't
But-
notice that before.
They're getting rolled again, so, you know.
Again, yes.
I mean,
Uh,
it's because they knew they wanted to run Reinhardt Zarya, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but like, but you'd only want to run him on Control Center. I don't know about the other two.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe Spree will like shine with on some other supports. Who knows? Like, let's give him a chance.
Yeah, let's
alright?
put Spree on other supports. Yeah.
I mean, other off tanks. Just give him a
I
chance.
mean,
alright?
I'm
Like,
sure his Diva's fine.
Yeah, Ziva's
His
fine,
Diva
but
is-
like,
It's good, but he feeds.
compared to
bad.
Cool Matt, like, monk ass.
Why even
That's
play
true,
Spree
yeah.
if
Yeah.
Matt?
Honestly.
Again, they
You're
lose to
paying
the
him
res.
$50,000 a year. Might as well
Yeah.
make him play.
Yeah. Alright, should we do
But not-
Spitfire now? What
Oh, okay. I was just gonna
Which
like highlight
Spitfire?
how like Shaz kind of.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Shaz is a
shine.
god, and Big Goose is also a god. Like, what a bunch of gods.
Yeah.
I remember people were like,
Good
you know
man.
what? These
Like,
kids, they're
I-
good, but they're overrated. They're not actually that good. And then, you know
I
what?
was gonna say when I first saw the lineup,
Yeah.
I thought this team was gonna be a big cast. Like I thought they were just gonna mostly, but they've done pretty well.
I think
Like
they're pretty good.
surprisingly well.
I think
They've-
picking up duos was like the right call because
Yeah,
Bishu
that
and
works.
Remix play so well together. And then you have Shaz and Big Goose they've played together for forever. It feels
And
like and
DPS
they're both
doesn't matter.
Gods.
So,
Exactly. Like I mean, you can
They
just
can just
kinda-
frag out.
Yeah, you just need your DPS
Yeah.
players to slay at the end
Yeah,
of the day, and like,
basically.
as long as they're good at that, then
Then you can work out the rest of your team. If 2/3 of your team has played together
like
before,
already has
experience playing,
synergy.
yeah.
alright, so Spitfire is Kongdu Panthera, but not all of it. They have Dawson, Rascal, Birdring,
Didn't they?
Fisher, and that's about it. And then they also picked up Nuss from Meta Athena, I think, and then Fury, who's on Team Liquid last, which is interesting, but he's definitely good. And then they also picked up GC Busan, which is Gesture and Wuyol. I don't know how to, it's something, right? And then you have their DPS, which is Hureg and Prophet, and then Closer and Tagyopion on support, and they're really good. And like, it's a bunch of Koreans, you know. They were like, you know what? We're gonna make an EU team for London. All right, we're gonna have some British players, maybe just some European players, right? And then they were like, actually, we want to win, so they picked up the 2 best Korean teams at the time.
Yeah, they just bought 2
Actually,
Korean
no, we
teams.
changed our minds. Let's pick some Stylos.
Yeah. They also have Stylosa. Yeah, like, what a legend. And of course he's involved. Why wouldn't Stylosa be involved?
To be fair, I mean, like, that did lead to, like, one of the cringiest pieces of content that I've seen in the Overwatch community in a while, and, like, I have to thank
That's
him
how
for
we
that.
do it in Philly.
Yeah.
I was to say, have you forgotten?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, that's... oof.
The casters did one on, like, Overwatch League Premiere, and it was actually good. Because I actually memed on them so hard. It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty bad
Yeah,
when the
that was
casters are
top
memeing
tier.
on.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. The casters are actually, like, memes half the time, so when they're memeing
So
on you...
Neptuno just got a double kill as Mercy.
Nice.
Monka-S.
Now that's how you play Mercy.
Yeah,
That's
honestly.
so healing. You just Glock everyone.
Yeah, Neptuno's like a lucky person, right? He was like, you know what? I'm gonna be on London Spitfire, right? I'm with C9, and then he just somehow got picked up on Philly randomly, towards the end, most likely. Which that's a feels good man for him, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty feels good.
He didn't have to play with all the Koreans.
They should just
Instead, he
like
got to play with
Spitfire should
Arbe
just
and
pick
Shadow.
up some like NA player rent, like AKM, just like just pick up AKM and make him learn Korean. I mean, he said he'll learn
He
Korean.
didn't, I thought
so-
AKM is playing Counter-Strike again.
No.
It's AZK.
Oh,
yeah. AZK. is-
Unbanned feels good.
What a god. But yeah, I mean, back to Spitfire. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know what else you could ask for from a roster. Like, they have so many players and so many consistently like top tier players. They can pretty much pull anything off. And I mean, come on, Birdring, Prophet,
Yeah. Right.
Rascal. Like what?
Prophet showed that he's actually kind of nuts.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like all match. I'm just going like, why didn't I pick this guy for my fantasy roster? I'd have so many points right now. But it's okay because I picked Birdring and you know he got me some points.
And you picked Bunny, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let's forget about that. Like basically at this point, I'm praying that they just play him tomorrow and like I just get a bunch of points.
Yeah, probably
Just
not.
play tomorrow.
They could still play him
Probably
and I
not.
could still
I
get
doubt
points
it.
for that. But if they don't, like
Why
they
run
didn't play
Bunny?
Fissure either. They didn't play Fissure. I thought that was a guarantee. I thought that they were gonna play Fissure, but they ran Jester
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
like that's a feels bad, man.
Yeah, you
They play
couldn't
the
have predicted
Gladiators.
that.
They could definitely pull up Bunny there.
Figure
Yeah.
if there's ever a time to play Bunny, you
Could've-
might as well play him when you're comfortable playing Bunny.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even know why they picked up Bunny, to be honest. Like, Munchkin's probably better than him on Tracer.
I'm gonna
Fleta's
point
good
this
on
out,
Tracer,
but my
too.
roster next week will be different. It will not
Yeah.
include Bunny.
And can't Munchkin switch to like Zarya?
Yeah,
So
Munchkin
if they really
can
needed
play
to run like,
off tank and like DPS really well. Like he can play Diva and Zarya. In fact, when he was going to be on Laser Kittens, I think he was going to play off tank.
so you
Sure.
could potentially like you could have Zumba on like Diva or Roadhog or whatever, and then Munchkin on Zarya.
Yeah.
And if you really needed another Tracer player that bad, you have Guido as well.
Oh yeah, that's
I think you do. We're going back to Tracer meta.
we're gonna have a 6 Tracer meta. That would also benefit Soul a lot because
Yeah.
they have 4 Tracer players.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
Shock and Soul are the best teams in the league.
The finals Shock versus Soul. That sounds
Wow.
pretty fun. I like that one.
Huh.
And Philadelphia beats Houston. What an interesting hypothesis.
That's a
Dude,
that's a
I
miracle.
called it right.
Like we said before, the picking up duos is a really good idea. Picking up Shadowburn and Carpe.
And then Neptuno and Boombox is good somehow. I don't know. I like it. They're both known for their Zen, but, you know, it's okay. I like it. Alright, so should we move on to Fusion right now, actually, because, you know, they're relevant and stuff?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I think so.
So their supports are Dayfly, Boombox, and Joe Meister. Dayfly is from, like, some Korean team. Boombox is from United, and then, like, the other ones that came before that, and then Joe Meister's from FaZe.
And Neptuno. Come on, man.
Yeah,
He just played like 5 maps
Dude,
for his team.
I know,
gotta
but like,
mention
I'm
Neptuno.
looking at the list, and like, I didn't see him, okay? He came from like the C9 and Laser Kittens, because C9 was basically Laser Kittens for a bit. And then their off tanks are like Poco, Hotba, and yeah, that's it. And they're both, one of them is
Sato.
like some, wait, Sato's an off tank?
He's a tank.
That's pretty,
I
no,
don't
he's a
know,
main tank,
off
he's a main
tank.
tank
He's a
player.
main tank?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also they picked up Fraggy for main tank. And then their DPS is Snillo, Carpe, Shadowburn, and Echo. Right? I don't know.
Let's just go with Echo.
Yeah, Echo. I like Echo. Echo's a fun name. And like, I don't know why you pick up Snillo when you have Carpe, because Carpe can arguably play Tracer better, and he can play other things better. So,
I guess if you need like Carpe on McCree, and then you need another
yeah.
Tracer player,
that's true. That's
because Shadowburn's
Yeah.
not going to play McCree.
yeah,
Doubt you'd
probably
even
not.
want him on Soldier. They had him on Soldier earlier, but
Yeah,
if
They
you,
don't want
if you were
Tracer.
going into it, I doubt you'd.
No, that went about as well as expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, let Shadowburn.
Shadowburn's just a
Yeah.
projectile
Aura.
player.
Just Pharah and Genji, that's all he needs to play.
Well, and Junkrat. If you're playing Junkrat, I think you can play
Yeah.
well, because Junkrat, if you can play Pharah and Genji, you can play Junkrat automatically. It's
I'm
like,
gonna say I've never seen him play Junkrat, but
yeah. I would just assume that he can.
Pick it up.
I don't know if I've
Yeah.
ever seen it, but I want to know if he can play Hanzo.
Probably, maybe. No, I don't
Probably.
know. I don't know, maybe.
Who knows?
But like,
I don't know if it's relevant outside of Junkertown, but
not really.
Who
Poco.
who did they put on Bastion for Junkertown?
Who?
Carpe? Philly.
They were in Junkertown? I wasn't watching, so I
They
don't know.
didn't
Even
have-
though they
they didn't
didn't
play
but who
Junkertown.
would they
Okay,
put
okay,
on
yeah.
Bastion? Carpe?
probably. That would make a lot of sense.
That makes the most sense. They could like do something weird, like put one of their support players on it, maybe. But I don't think
I
any of the
guess.
support players are good enough
Then
for
what
that,
do you- then
actually.
what do you- yeah.
No.
I guess you
Like
have-
their support
Yeah.
players aren't Harry Hook, so they
Yeah, basically.
they shouldn't
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
could
that's
have
true.
Shadowburn on Diva.
They had a lot of upsets today, though. I mean, like, you gotta think, like, they played really well. I mean, I'm
Poco
surprised.
was nuts.
Poco, yeah, like, that's that random French kid that just comes out of nowhere and is like, I'm just gonna get 3k Diva bombs
Yeah.
left, right, and center.
God.
And, like, if you,
Dude,
you don't like it, you
that
can get out of my
Diva
game.
bomb, That was
I think he had
Okay.
at least three Ks.
Wait, he's from
Yeah.
Gamers Origin. Like, that's the last team
Yeah.
he's playing on. He was just playing on... Oh, dude, I wish... I should have known that. That's a monkaS. But what a legend, dude.
But-
He goes from Gamers
Yeah,
Origin
he's-
to
he's
Philadelphia.
insane.
That's pretty nice.
And but I was also surprised not to see Joe Meister at all today. I don't think that they played him.
Yeah. I think they will if Lucio
Yeah.
becomes meta. They'll just run him all the time. But...
Mhm.
Neptuno can play a good Lucio, so
Oh, can he?
Why
I didn't know
even-
that. Yeah, then
Yeah.
why even... Yeah, see... Who cares
why
about Joe
even bring
Meister,
in Joe
dude?
Meister?
Yeah. Because they want the phase core. That's what they want. And, like...
yeah.
It's worth it. In their mind, it's not really worth it though. So anyway, we're gonna move on, I think, to San Francisco Shock, which is it's a team. It's definitely a team which they have.
Baby Bay and
they're
friends.
Yeah.
Baby Bang Company.
A bunch of DPS players.
Yeah, the support players are literally just Sleepy and Doc. Like they only have 2 support players, which is kind of
It feels
monk-ass.
bad.
They
Like, I
could
feel
put
like they should
Nevix on
just put,
support
like-
though. They could put Nevix
Yeah.
on support, and they do
They're-
fine with that. And Nomi and Nevix and Super are sort of tank players. Like Nevix could play other things too, and Super can play other
Yeah,
things
still
too.
play every.
Yeah, Nevix and Super can kind of play everything. And you know, their DPS is Dante, Sinatra, Baby Bait, and IDDQD, which is it's weird, but I guess it's good, right? Baby Bait is like an actual god. Like he's probably their best DPS player. And then Sinatra is sort of like a Tracer one trick, and also Zarya, but that's okay because Tracer's pretty much broken but like not broken to the point
Especially
where you
on
nerf
lane.
her. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Dante is like, he can play projectile pretty well, specifically Genji, and like also Tracer and like Sombra if they want to do that. And IDDQD is like, he's there, so you know.
He is there. They haven't played
He
him yet.
flips tables, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Throws
I don't know.
axes.
He's there.
Light shit on fire.
When he was on a podcast, he said he's gonna play more than just hit scan, which is a monk ass. I don't know what he's
That's a
gonna play.
monk ass.
Yeah, it really is.
Like what? They're gonna put him on mid tank?
Hanzo.
I want to see the IDDQD Winston. Nice.
Ooh, spicy.
I want to see IDDQD Reinhardt
Yeah,
or Orisa.
honestly, they'd all be spicy.
Anything but his scan at this point is going to be a surprise, really.
Did
Yeah.
he play Roadhog at all?
I don't think so. Probably. could
Wait
pull it
until
off.
we see Junkertown. Anything can happen, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Is that like all we have to say
yeah.
about San Francisco?
The-
I don't.
I think
it's a team.
The reasoning they have so many hit scan players is because I think the old coach of Selfless, Brad, has the philosophy that if you can play hit scan, you can flex onto like
Everything.
flex support. You can play Ana and Zenyatta. Yeah,
I
It's
don't
like
know.
It's arguable because Zenyatta's like projectile is very unique in the way it tracks, like compared to other projectile heroes.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of practice to get used to, and like, about Ana I understand because scoped accuracy hit scan. I guess like
yeah.
that might make you good.
Pine does it.
Well, but you
But
don't want to only be scoped in as Ana. Like,
Exactly. Sometimes you
Yeah.
need to just be using projectile mode so that you don't give away your position and stuff. But like, that's another thing too. Like Ana's like 75% mechanical skill and 25% actual decision making. So
I'd say it's
you actually
50-50
need to-
actually. I
You're
don't know.
probably right. Honestly,
Yeah.
a lot of it, like, sure, you can be super nutty and just pull off some of the craziest things. I mean, like, that's basically what Jaehong does, but he also plays her so much that he also has the decision making down pat too.
Pine was able
Yeah.
to flex a long time ago on to Ana. And
Yeah.
then you'd see him on like any other hero in the game. He can do anything, but
Pine is a god as
He-
well.
yeah, he can make that switch from flex support to hit scan player pretty easily.
Kind of like Harry, just like I'll play
Yeah.
just whatever you guys need me to play. Like we want to run triple DPS, single support, I'm doing it. But yeah, I mean they
Dallas is
they
just
still have a
kinda-
good roster.
Built around the idea that you can flex a lot, because they had Harry who like flexes a lot. Sometimes he's on support, sometimes he's on like DPS, and then they just picked up 3 players that can do the same thing, except XQC.
And Custa. I mean, Custa is like arguably one of the least
Yeah.
flexible players in that game too. He's pretty much dedicated flex support.
Well, but he plays all the supports, so
Yeah.
I guess that makes him pretty flexible. And then, Siegel just, he played Hanzo. He played Diva, Contenders anyway. I don't know. He played a lot of things, so.
Siegel's just a bizarre pick for that roster, but he's not a bad one. I mean, he fits with their theme of
I mean, I think
Whatever
And he
the
fills
hell.
a massive hole with
I was
that.
gonna say they picked him up because he plays projectile, and they didn't really have any to do that before.
Yeah. I think that's mainly it.
Makes
That's why they
sense.
did it like back in Contenders even. That was a while ago when he was picked up. So.
Yeah, I mean, they had at one point they played Taimu on Genji, and that was something that they did.
Genji's their weakest part. They don't have any like amazing Genji players. Like Effect can play Genji, Taimu can play Genji, Siegel can play Genji, but none of them are like that good at Genji.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
back when Overwatch first came out, Siegel was one of the better Genjis, but there's just so
Yeah.
many great Genjis now.
I think-
Like he's okay.
I think people caught
I
up
think
to
he
him,
could.
and he just
I think
didn't
he
play
could
enough.
grind it out
Yeah.
probably. He just hasn't played it in forever.
exactly.
They don't need him
Yeah.
to play it.
Well, he hasn't
Yeah.
had a reason. Like,
Yeah, they don't. Genji's not like particularly meta, so
Yeah.
it's not really
Well, and also he
required that they
hasn't-
play it.
he hasn't played on a team in a long time either,
Yeah,
because NRG just never actually did anything.
He played Genji and Kelvin and the Chipmunks, which was like a meme team, but he did play it. So it's not like I don't know. He was good on Genji, but
in open division.
top 10 team
no,
names
it
of
was
all
it
time.
was season 0, not open division. Come on, bro. It's different.
Pretty much the same thing.
It was basically the same thing at the time, except all of the teams had to compete there, including like and not Envy because they were in Korea, but
Like LG Evil.
yeah, Immortals had to compete there. So I
Yeah.
think yeah, they did. That was the good old days. Anyway, we're gonna move on to
Carpi had-
Shanghai.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Carpi had 125 kills.
Nice. All right. Shanghai is Zushu, Altering, Free Feel, Five King, Undead, MG, Dia, and Roshan. And like, it's a roster. All right.
Who are
It
they?
is a roster.
Yeah.
They got completely shut out by
I don't know.
everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Dia's their best player, and like, it's not even that amazing. I mean, I don't know. It's kind
Their
of monk-ass.
DPS are like the just clones of one another. Why
Yeah,
did
really.
they pick up?
Yeah, really. Honestly though, I don't
Except
understand.
one's a shittier version of the other.
It's all true. Feels bad.
Like Undead got glocked by the Mercy at least twice when they played the other day.
Yeah,
You might not want to tell your friends about that.
that was a.
Really
Alright.
though.
Too bad it's on
We're gonna-
stream.
Yeah, 350,000 people watch that shit in English. Feels bad.
See, now every Mercy in my games fucking tried to do that shit instead of healing me.
Yeah.
Just a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the good ones pull it off and still keep you healed, right? And like, then you have like
Yeah, but then the bad ones fly into an aimbot or a dead
kind of like Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Not gonna name names or anything, but
You know,
feels bad. But yeah, I mean,
bad.
I don't know. Shanghai, like
they're bad.
they
They could have had a
like,
good team. Like, there's some Chinese players and teams that are actually like can bring a good fight to Koreans, and they were like, no.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's not pick up the good players.
Like
Yeah.
arguably Roshan
Uh,
had like some of the worst decision making out of like a main tank that I think we've seen so far in Overwatch
It's
League.
probably the worst one
yesterday.
Evergreen and I are much better than Roshan, I think.
there.
Yeah, no joke, really.
Guys.
Just watching him, like, half health, get headshot by a Widow, decide, you know what, I'm gonna 1v1. Well, it's not even 1v1 because he was getting healed. Sir 4 was. Just run in to try to dive the Mercy and Widow while he's less than half health.
I don't know.
At some point, he thought that was a great idea.
Like you see like the contrast in skill level, like when gladiators pull off that like dive on Anubis, and they literally just like they're like, we're gonna dive in and we're just gonna win the team fight in like the matter of 15 seconds.
Was
And
it
then, like,
15?
They won
I
the team
was-
fight in like a second.
I was like,
They
that's like
jumped
2
in and
seconds.
immediately got like 2 kills.
Yeah, but then you got to kill like the other 3 that are still alive. I let's be fair. Like it was more than a second. Like they got 3 kills immediately, and then they had to chase the other ones. But
Within the first 2 seconds, they had gotten both supports.
yeah, like the team
I
fight was
remember-
over at the moment that the Winston landed.
But yeah,
Remix
But-
landed on top of Mercy.
But you see similar dives today with better teams. Like even like Florida held up better to the same tactic. And like London basically just outright denied that dive. And like it's literally same comp, same positioning. And it just goes to show like how potentially weak Shanghai's team is.
They're
They
probably gonna
let-
be the
they
worst
just
team.
let it happen.
Probably.
It
Which
feels
is-
bad because like
yeah.
I think a lot of people were expecting that out of Florida, and like I think Florida like right now has more map points than Shanghai.
Yep, they do. Easily.
0-40 monkaS.
Yeah, because Shanghai hasn't won a single map, and Florida
Feels
has.
bad.
So
Put Dia
I
on, like,
honestly can see them not winning more than 10 maps.
yeah,
Like, they are not
that's fair
good.
enough. That's fair enough. Definitely fair enough. All right, we should do Seoul, the final team, right?
Oh.
The-
Their team,
yeah.
I guess.
So they
They're
so
alright,
they,
I guess.
they have like the Lunatic High core, which is Miro and Zunba, right? And then Ryujay Hong and Toby, and then also Guido at sort of he was there for a while ish, and then they had they picked up some DPS players, and they picked up like Munchkin and Fleta being the most notable ones, and that's basically their roster. None of the other guys matter because they'll never run them ever, because Munchkin and
Oh,
Fleta are better than all of them. And
I mean, I could see them running them against like weaker rosters where
Yeah,
they're
just
like, yeah,
'cause they
we know
want
we
to.
don't have to fight for this one.
yeah.
They
But
might
then
could
at the
run.
same time, they'll probably just like put Ryujay Hong on, I guess.
They
Like,
could run.
They have the two best support players in the world, the best off tank in the world, one of the best main tanks in the world, arguably one of the best DPS in the world, or arguably like the best DPS in the world. Like you can even make an argument for that. Like,
I think
how
even
do
the
they
casters
lose?
had said he was probably like the
Yeah.
top DPS in the world.
Yeah, the only
When he
people that
was
you can really
stuck on
compete with him is like
Flash Slugs.
Flower and like Rascal and Birdring. They could compete.
I think they can honestly play
But-
Kuki, because I think he might have a better Orisa than Miro. But other than that, why ever play Kuki over
he
Miro?
can speak better English for the interviews. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why they picked him
Well,
up.
they don't
That's
have
why
to.
they
They
picked him
don't have
up.
to play him then. He can just.
So
be
he-
Yeah, yeah,
He basically
He's
has
just there for the
Stylos's
content.
spot on the roster.
yeah. Basically, yeah. He's just there for that. It's okay. I can
Orisa
respect
feels
that.
bad.
To occupy the same spot as Stylosa. Oof.
Oof.
I doubt that Guido will actually play DPS for this team. I think he'll probably play Ana.
Yeah,
Why
he,
would you
he,
ever
he
need
has the
that,
flex
though?
role
Well,
on the website.
yeah, I
so-
think if Rujihong,
Yeah.
if they ever want to do like the Rujihong DPS, like sometimes they do, Guido can play the Ana and he can play a serviceable Zen.
It's just like I feel that like with Fleta on the roster, Jaehong will never really have to play DPS again.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that any of the heroes that he would have stepped in on, like Fleta can just play better.
Yeah. But we
That's
did
true.
see it in Apex where Rujihong was out. I think he was sick or he had something where he wasn't able to play for like 2-3 games or 2-3 maps or something. And Guido stepped in and played Ana, played Zen, and did a serviceable job. He's not obviously Rujihong, but he could play. He can play those heroes pretty well.
Yeah, that's not a bad option for them. You know, like it's nice to have those backup players. You never know when one of your players is going to be sick or injured or something.
Yeah.
Then there's Mayhem. It's another team.
We already talked about Mayhem.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, it's good to have people that can flex and sub in, and then you have Mayhem, and then
Yeah.
I haven't
contrast.
looked into it, but like that is a huge worry when you think about it. I mean, if they need a sub, like I don't know what rules are in place. Like they might just not play every time that one of their players is sick, which kind of sucks. Because it's basically the same as like losing 4 maps. You're losing 4 opportunities to gain map points, and a team as weak as theirs kind of wants to take every
Exactly,
friggin'
yeah.
opportunity to get a friggin' map point.
yeah, exactly.
Even if they're gonna go 1-3, they're like, we
It's
need
better
to
than
play
not
that
Better
playing.
than Shanghai.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Hashtag better than Shanghai.
That's
Boston is currently running a
Wait,
team
they're playing?
without Note. Yeah. Thank God they're not playing Note.
yeah,
Is Lilo
Kalios.
starting
Like,
PogChamp.
why would they have Kalios and Note in the same team? Like, you don't need Note when you have Kalios, right?
Well, he's
That's-
got to be
Yeah.
Huck's friend.
Well, because he is, because they're on Toronto Esports, right? And they're like,
Joe Nack. They're running.
nice.
Libero is starting. That's not what I expected. I guess Pine isn't starting.
Oh, that feels bad.
Yeah, they always have to run Sabilby. Like, they're never
I'm-
not gonna run
yeah.
Sabilby, right?
I have Libero on my team, so I have Libero and Striker. It's matched. So
If they don't run Striker, they're throwing the game. So I
yeah,
think-
he's pretty much the carry.
Yep. So I guess the rest of the podcast, we should answer questions now. Well, there's one person that has questions to ask, and that's about it. So I guess we could just do that now,
Alright.
and then talk about the current match after, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
All right.
sounds like a plan.
All right. Let's bring Janelle in. Hello, Janelle.
Hello.
You have a good question because,
Okay, yeah.
you've been sitting in
I
there
think,
for a while.
I think it's all right.
So
Um,
okay.
How does everyone feel about Al having a code of conduct for their players? Like, do you think it's fair to try and treat them as role models?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is.
Technically, I mean, in some ways, yes, but in some ways, you have to look at how other pro sports kind of handle their code of conduct and how loose it usually is with most professional sports.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been better in the last few years, but you look at how the NFL handled so many scandals by just basically ignoring it for over a decade, and then finally they're like, okay, maybe we should stop our players from beating their wives or something. But yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, these are the players, like, that are representing the highest level of this game. And, I mean, they should be making them role models for, like, you know, good sportsmanship and, like, good practice.
I'd have to say yes and no, because I keep thinking back to there's an old Charles Barkley advertisement where he says, "I'm not a role model," and literally just goes on a rant where it's like that's the parents' job and stuff. But I think you can't like control all of these OWL players. Like there's no way you're gonna be like you have to sit within these guidelines. You can't do that, you can't do that. But you also have to think about the audience of OWL. Like there's a significant portion of younger kids that watch esports.
Twitch chat.
Yeah, Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all of Twitch chat
All
is
Twitch
just children.
chat.
But
For the most part.
You have to think about who the audience is. So there has to obviously be something. It can't just be like the NFL and ignore it for 20 years and be like, well, shit.
I don't think they will.
Trend here.
I think Blizzard cares a little bit more about having a good image.
Yeah,
And it-
Yeah.
Since Blizzard is focusing on like regulating toxicity in the game, a good way is to start at the highest levels of play, and
Yeah,
if they can like
there you go.
manage that there, and then hopefully it'll trickle down to like the rest of the community.
And that's why Spree should be kicked from Overwatch League. Thank you. For that game, I played with Spree. What a legend!
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yes, he was so tilted.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go AFK right now, and you know, he was pretty toxic, but
dude, nice.
that was fun. What a
I
nice
think
I
guy.
think there's a
bad.
fine line between Blizzard almost micromanaging their players and letting them have kind of free reign over what they do. It's kind of a gray area as to what they should and should not control.
Well, I think especially for all the pro players that have like big streams, like you know, Seagull and XQC and Taimu whenever he decides to stream.
Not time, but come on.
Well, whatever.
I think
but-
at this point, like, there's really only a few players that get over like
Yeah.
2,000 viewers
Yeah.
in Overwatch League. Like XQC today had like 10K,
Nice. Then
but that's
Seagull,
really rare.
and then like that's about
Pine
it.
has a pretty big Korean stream.
Yeah, Seagull when he streams
Nice.
once every 2 months, you know, he gets like 20,000 people.
Well, he's actually been streaming a lot more in like in the mornings. Seagull has anyway, but
Yeah, I saw him
Yeah,
this
but
morning.
that's because they won't let him play in Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah, nobody's live right now, but to be fair, Overwatch League is going on, so like, why would
I was
the pro
gonna say,
players be live?
I think Blizzard kind of expects the players to not stream while Overwatch League is live.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
that might actually be a
XQC
rule. That might actually be a thing because
I don't know if
XQC and
I don't know
Seagull.
if it's a formal rule, but I think it's definitely expected of them.
yeah, because
XQC and Seagull today, both in their stream titles said streaming
Right,
until
so
OWL. So I think it's
Yeah.
kind of expected that they just stop streaming when OWL starts. And also, you don't want to take away viewers from OWL and potentially kill your livelihood.
That
it's
Yeah,
and
not just
also,
that makes a
that.
lot
I
of
figured
sense.
they'd stop streaming anyway.
yeah, like
Just 'cause they wanna watch it.
Take viewers away from you. 1, 2, they're gonna want to watch it.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
their
it-
teams don't actually require them to watch it to study what other.
what if? And also, you know, if they're playing, they also have to stop streaming. And
Nah, dude. I think they should. I think we should get.
Stream-
I think they should
the
stream
games.
their games. Yeah, from their point of view.
Stream
Stream
games.
games at LAN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get
I don't see
Taimu
why
streaming
not.
Hearthstone like a minute where he gets on stage. That would be legendary.
He walks
I'd
up
pay
with
for
his
that.
phone. Dude, that'd be pretty nice.
I would sub. I'd
IRL
instant
plus
sub.
Hearthstone stream.
Dude, I would instantly sub to if Taimu,
Right?
while he was playing Overwatch, streamed Hearthstone.
They're
Only
running.
a little
They're
bit
running their
related,
best
but-
possible roster right now. Boston is. So look at that for a second. If they're not running that every single game, then they're fine.
That's a throw if they don't run. Yeah.
Okay, no, they
Poor
they're on
Kellex.
attack. It threw me off. They were trolling,
Yeah.
but they're on
Trolls.
attack. They have whatever they want.
Wait. Okay. Yeah.
Ryan Zarya. Oh, Orisa, Diva, Hanzo. Oh my God, are they gonna pick?
No, they're never gonna actually pick. Yeah, there we go. Bastion, Hanzo, Widow.
I like
They're
that.
going for-
I think they're gonna do
Honestly,
that.
what I'm most excited for is a Jonak POV. I really just
Yeah.
want to see how
Yeah.
how slow his aiming is.
Yeah, really.
Right? Sounds pretty nice.
Literally the lowest sensitivity in all of Overwatch League, with a whopping
Doesn't,
1600 EDPI.
Well, it says
Isn't
what's it
Jaehong's
say?
EDPI like really super low?
See, I thought that, but then I saw Jonak's EDPI, because Jaehong is like roughly like 2100 EDPI ish. It's like 2100 and like some change, but Jonak is actually 1600 EDPI. It's
He
lower.
runs 800 DPI and 2 cents.
Like, they actually have to put an extra seat on his team's bench so that he has mousepad room, so no one sits next to him.
Nice.
It's really bad.
I think if there's a map that Boston
Wow.
can win, it's gotta
Oh,
be.
God.
It's gotta be Junkertown if Boston's gonna win a map.
Alright, well, thank you for your questions and all. Get out of my podcast, thank you. Alright, anyway, this is a good comp. Is this like what Dallas ran, or is it this is slightly different, right?
This is what Dallas ran, yeah.
Yeah.
Except I don't think they had Diva. What did they have?
No, yeah, they had Roadhog.
Yeah, that's right.
It did
But then
affect.
again, why would you not?
Why would you have time
Time on
on
Roadhog.
Diva?
Yeah, exactly. Taimu was getting crazy hooks yesterday, like super
Yeah.
important ones.
That's one of
It's
the
one of the top Roadhogs, easily. What a god.
that's one of the things that got me into like competitive Overwatch and Envious in general was seeing Taimu play Roadhog. He was just so good at it. But I think New York wins this, but I think Boston could actually take this map if they meme hard enough.
I mean, they're still on the double sniper bash, so
If their memes become dreams.
Ah.
I see what you did there.
Yes, I see. Alright, well, should we actually like end the podcast here? We did pretty good. We talked about Overwatch League, talked about
We
each
should
team.
talk-
That was the point.
Yeah. Exactly. Alright. I think we can end it here. So thanks to our 5 viewers for watching, as usual. Next week we will have a podcast again, maybe at a different day, because, Thursday is when Overwatch League is going on and we don't want to lose our viewership. Alright, so, we're gonna have to reschedule that.
Thanks for coming, kids.
Yeah. I'll see you all in the Nexus, friends.
The king goes grrr, back, back, tack, 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 tack. Skitty kick, back, back, and the pop, pop, grrr, boom, boom, skia, do, do, cook, cook, do, doom, doom, boom, boom. You done know. I tell a man's not hot, man's not. I tell a man's not hot, never hot. The girl told me take off your jacket. I said, babe, man's not hot, never hot.